Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow have a match at SummerSlam, and we're talking about that here in part 9. This is not for the Money in the Bank briefcase that a lot of people, including myself, thought that they might actually go with. Um, I do think, though, that there's a possibility that they might have that come into play at Night of Champions. And this is where my prediction kind of comes in here. I talked about it a little bit when it comes to the Bleacher Report article, where Night of Champions doesn't feel as special anymore that now that they don't have as many titles. So why not add a Money in the Bank briefcase defense? And if they're going to do that, then they need Cody Rhodes to win here because he needs to have some kind of a right to say, you might have actually won it at Money in the Bank when I was poised to win it, but now I've beaten you one-on-one, so now I want to challenge you for the actual thing. And I don't think that they'll necessarily go with that because we've only seen a couple times where the Money in the Bank briefcase has been defended. But one of them was pretty recently. It was at TLC. So it's not like it's a totally foreign concept. And if they go that route, Cody Rhodes wins. If they don't, Damien Sandow wins to make up for the fact that Cody Rhodes has gotten quite a bit on him. But I think if you couple in those factors and you couple in the idea with most Money in the Bank, people tend to lose a lot once they win Money in the Bank for some fucking reason. So I got to go with Cody Rhodes here.
Oh, for that same reason, I have to go with Rhodes as well. Sandow was already losing a lot before he won Money in the Bank, so I never really trust him to win anyway because he's never booked to. But this is really one of those instances where, the Money in the Bank winner, we've seen it with Bryan and even Ziggler the year before, they're booked for pay-per-view match after pay-per-view match after winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, and they just constantly lose. They lose on television, they lose on pay-per-view. I think it's an easy win for Rhodes. Even if I don't agree with it, I think he's going to win.
What do you think, Burhan?
Add more momentum to the feud, and I think it's going to give them a reason so these guys can actually face each other again for the briefcase this time. It has to be because he has to get a bit of retribution coming in, and it has to extend the feud. If Sandow wins, then the feud over.
What do you think, Drew?
I was in the same boat as you, and I thought that if they were gonna do this Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow thing, that they would have the briefcase on the line at some point. But mainly, but as what some of the other men in this room have said, mainly because since Cody Rhodes has been getting most of the punches on Damien Sandow as of late and playing some tricks on that briefcase of his, I think Sandow will come out on top of it, on top here, and I think they'll continue this program going into Night of Champions. There we go.
Hey, isn't it refreshing to see an actual mid-card feud for once built up to a pay-per-view match?
Yes.
And they're actually trying to push it too. I believe when Sandow was wrestling Christian tonight, they brought up the Christian Del Rio match, and then when they came back from commercial, Cole was like, "Yeah, we didn't even mention Sandow's also facing Cody Rhodes," and they actually spent some time talking about it because they want to make sure people remember this is also a match on the card. They care. This is legitimately a thing. Sandow and Rhodes are in the spotlight. The mid card has a rivalry. It's good. I'm happy.
Maybe they'll work. Maybe they'll build up to actually promoting a match, a title matchup for a secondary title on one of their pay-per-views.
Yeah, we're getting hope. We're giving hope. The mid card's getting some spotlight here on pay-per-view.
Two guys that deserve it too because they're both fucking great. But I'm really excited about the quality of the match too. I think that if they give these guys the right amount of time, they can put on possibly one of the sleeper matches.
Oh, for sure. It might be the hit of the undercard.
I also think Cody is going to win. If we all remember correctly, he was winning that briefcase. That was it. And Sandow kind of laid low the entire match and, as Cole keeps saying, stole it from Cody pretty much. So this is Cody's measure of revenge. This is his, this is the way they continue the feud into Night of Champions. This is the way they can get the briefcase on the line. Use it as part of the Night of Champions gimmick. Sandow lost. Now Cody earns the right to try to win the briefcase that Sandow quote unquote stole from him.
I don't get the stealing thing, it's it's every man for himself. He knocked him off the ladder.
But he took it. He kind of took it from underneath his nose. Is what they're saying. They're not saying Sandow didn't deserve to win the match. They're just saying that it was right there, and his best friend stabbed him in the back, and He did none of the work. He was barely even in the match, and he just yanked the briefcase out and
it
repped
was a
all the
pretty
rewards.
cunty thing to do.
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's a good description of it. A pretty cunty thing to do.
Yeah, I've used it for other things too, but it's the best way to say it. He didn't really, he didn't really cheat, and he won it within the rules of the match. But it's like, it's who he screwed over or fucked over to win the match.
Who he screwed him over and how he screwed him over really are the two reasons. So I think that definitely Cody wins. I wouldn't be shocked if Damien won. It's not one of those things where it's like it's a lock or anything, but it seems pretty likely Cody's gonna win.
Yeah.
I would love for the commentators to describe it that way. They'd be like, after that cunt Damien Sandow. What do you think, Miguel? We've all kind of reflected the idea of Cody Rhodes. Do you think that Cody's winning?
Well, first off, it is pay-per-view, so they could technically get away with saying that. But yeah, I mean, it would pretty much kill the feud if Sandow just all of a sudden won it. Although we have seen examples of WWE doing that and still continuing feuds. But yeah, to me, it just makes way too much sense for Rhodes to win and to move on to a much bigger, maybe stipulation matchup for the briefcase at Night of Champions.
Maybe
I don't know
match.
I don't know if they want to do a ladder match so close to Money in the Bank. I mean, Money in the Bank was just a month and a half ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but by the time Night of Champions comes around, it'll be almost 3 months. So.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, it seems like it would make the most sense as far as the context of the feud and having the briefcase hanging up there again. It's like, all right, Sandow, let's see if you can actually work.
Are you sure they wouldn't save that for TLC in December?
They might, but do you really think it's going to go 4 more months?
I don't think so.
No, I could see them doing something that Sandow could pick up a cheap win over Cody Rhodes again, and then Vicky on SmackDown could be like, that ain't how we gonna do it in his house, and set up a match for the briefcase at Night of Champions.
We do have to remember they haven't had a match with each other yet, so one beating the other doesn't really kill the other one. They can do what they want here. I just think that having Cody win seems more... I think it's more the fact that Cody needs to get a little measure of revenge for not winning the briefcase than it is anything else. I think if Cody gets that at SummerSlam, then Damien can get his after that. Damien's got a guaranteed world championship in his future. Cody doesn't have much else besides this. So I really think Cody needs to get this big win over Sandow. It's the first scrap they've let him have off the table in forever. You gotta let him have something, you know.
You know,
amazing Vicky Guerrero impression. I actually thought you were her for 1 second. But yeah, in terms, I agree with Jester on this. Cody has to win this one in a sense to further the feud. You don't want to have a situation happen where he ends up losing. It's just going to cost the rest of the feud, and Sandow will get his own retribution, and then you won't see it go anywhere. If he wins, then there's more of a potential for a rematch where Sandow might win, and then they have the rubber match, which could be for the briefcase.
Was it painful for you to say I agree with Chester?
Yes.
You know he's gonna pull for everyone on his fantasy team to win. That's what it is.
I'm cutting myself as we speak.
Same. I was actually upset you even agreed with me, to be honest.
So all of us are thinking Cody Rhodes here. What you guys think? Tell us your choices, and we're going to move on. Part 10, Tag Team Championship, unofficial match right now. Shield and Mark Henry and Big Show.